everybody. It's me, Sheem. I'm super excited. We're about to shoot episode 50 of SOULutions for Men. What you think, little man?
Probably gonna have a podcast.
A podcast, not pastcast. A podcast. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. We doing it.
She gave me the green light. Now it's time to take flight. Let's go.
Cause I'm out the ordinary. 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 Alright, y'all.
Welcome to SOULutions, where men come out of the shadows to testify, giving tips in manhood, honor the codes of integrity, and bring out real solutions for soul survival. Today, I am super excited to announce episode 50. And I brought some men on the show today. To my right, I have Michael Fisher. Michael, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, brother?
Yes, sir.
Glad you got me here, man.
And I got Jers Jones back on the show once again.
Good to be here, brother. Thank you for having me, man.
Yes, man. Listen, we're going to dive in some conversation. The topics and everything is going to be off key, off format for what you usually hear. Today, we're going to dive into the black man and who we are and the best of us and who we can be and what's good enough and what's the narrative that's propaganda and what's the narrative that's really going on between us. How do we make this better? How do we grow? We only going to speak from a man's perspective and only talk to men. We're not doing tick for tat. We're just going to be at bat talking about us and how we can be better. So let's get this thing started. We got plenty of questions here on the table, but I'm going to start it off deep because y'all know I get deep. Gentlemen, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's paint this narrative. The last generation, the statistics show, that over 80% homes are single parent homes. We were raised by our mothers and our grandmothers. And to the most part, stop me if I'm wrong, most of us are raised to be chivalrous, or we saw trauma to the point where we're like, I'm gonna make sure my mother gets a better rap from the way this man is treating her, if he was there or not. We was like, okay, I'm gonna be a good man. I'm gonna make sure this happens. Now that's our foundation. That is our nucleus. Now, some things happen along the way. People change, things happen, heartbreak. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the foundation. And it's to my understanding from what I saw, you stop me if I'm wrong. I saw many moments where the daughters are being taught, well, you need to be independent. You need to have a plan B. You don't need no man. This is how you need to grow up because you see what's happening to me. I don't want this for you. Yeah. Right. So now I bring this up and those two foundations are now growing up and now colliding in our culture. And we're seeing the result. Are we blaming our mothers and our grandmothers for the false teachings that they gave us or their pain turning into now our power and prestige that we have to go against every day? Or is just the plight of the woman and we don't understand it? Which one is it, fellas?
Brother, I got a lot to say. Well, and I think it's the plight of the woman. In this situation, as far as a mother can only tell from a female's perspective. So when she's telling her daughter, hey, I want you to be independent, realistically, what she's probably basing that off of the hurt that she's experienced, right? You know, the men in her life didn't do this and didn't do that. So she's telling the daughter, be independent, do for your own, do for yourself. Now, in my opinion, what happens with that is that the daughter grows up to be so independent that she doesn't understand that she needs a man, she needs a spouse.
And we need them.
And we need them. So I think they just don't know how to bend or even just see the outlook of a man as well, because they haven't been taught that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I when you first began to speak, my mind immediately went back to 1920s, man. You know, beginning of the 1900s, man. You talking about when black families thrived, man. You know, men in the homes, families, what it was all about. The black community was family. And I think that it wasn't of our own. It was systematically made to break the black family up. You know what I'm saying? In America, I believe that, you know, systems were put in place to divide us as a people. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they start, I'm telling you, bro, when they start to putting in laws and then bringing in drugs and then putting men into the.
I love you, my brother.
Yeah,
I love you, my brother.
But listen,
but in these streets, they don't want to hear that because people not doing history, right? Nobody want to hear that. They just think, oh, y'all crying.
But the thing is, you gotta understand. You gotta understand your history to understand. You understand where you came from to know where you're going.
I'm
right?
antagonistic today, ladies and gentlemen. So let's do it.
If you understand that the system was already built against you, maybe somehow you understand how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? So if it's already was set to break us apart, knowing how powerful we was, You know, so we got to understand how powerful we are so that we can do that. We can bring that back. But it's the thing is, it's been such a disconnect, you know, with sending our black men to jail, filling the jails up, you know what I'm saying? Making jobs harder to find, or even just I mean, it's so many different things I can say that is a connection to how the system has been built to divide us.
Okay.
Even beyond.
Let me ask you this question.
Like,
let me ask you this question. Yeah, we can get into it. This is what the show's about today. I'm super excited.
I'm not saying that because of that.
No,
we find comfort in that.
No,
but we got to understand that that's the beginning of how it broke apart. And then now you got these females that are home alone, and now they're forced to be, you know what I'm saying, without whatever, like, you know, without a man in the home. Now,
so would you say would you say that their plan worked? The powers against us, would you say that their systematic plan has worked?
I would say that it was very successful because that's the reason why most jails are filled with black men.
All right, I asked you this question because I want to follow up with this. We'll stay right here what you're talking about. I recently was having conversations with women. And yes, I talk to women on a regular basis as much as I talk to men. And one of these women expressed to me that she felt when George Floyd died that black women were the first ones on the front line running outside the protest. And I listened to what she had to say. And my answer to her, she didn't like. It wasn't a popular answer. I said, did you consult with the men before you ran outside the protest? And vice versa. I don't think we should move against a system that is planned against us off emotion and outrage. And I got a lot of pushback from men and women, but I feel they only look at it like I'm saying, well, talk to the men first. That's not what I'm saying. Right. I said, talk to each other first, so we know how we moving. Exactly. Because at the end of the day,
you have to move as a unit.
Yeah, and then people don't understand the order. Oh, y'all not gonna go outside, so we gotta go outside first. How does that help you fighting against other men? That's what we gotta realize. Our women are running outside fighting against men and think they're winning. They're not fighting against you.
But you got, and I get it. But I'm also thinking about the position that women have systematically been put in. You think about all of the times, and I'm sorry I'm going back to this.
Now let's do it.
I don't want to be political.
No, let's do it.
But it's like, think about all of the movements, the acts that women have put, the moments, 70s, you know, where women were like, yo, it's about women's rights, it's about making us equal, it's about us being, you know, dominant, independent, and everything like that, which put them at a place where they want to be equal as men. So at this point, it's done went from there now to a whole nother level. That's why you see so many different organizations. You see so many women doing big things because it's like they achieved their independence. Now it's time to move the boat. It's time to make it happen.
That's the key.
Now it's like
they have their strength, they have their independence, they know they can do it by themselves.
Why I gotta wait on the man?
Now it's time to shift to the unit.
I get it. But let me tell you where I'm at with it. I'm being super antagonistic on purpose.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
I get that the women's rights movement was started by another culture of women and they took the helm of it. And we didn't know that we had a lot of disarray in our homes because there was no government implemented systems to fall back on. A man can walk across town and start a new family if he wanted. I get it. That's messed up. I understand it. I didn't live in that time, but I understand it. But I also understand once you form these unions and you have these buildings and you have all these organizations, don't turn around and say, well, we don't need no man for nothing because you forgot who built the building that you in. You think that men are not equivalent to what you need, but we build the resources for you to use to get your independence. What about those men? And I'm not just talking about black men. What about those men? You say we don't need men. Who's building these infrastructures for you to have a community center? And before anybody say, oh, there's women construction workers, do your research. It's 9%. 9% in the United States. 9%. That means 91% of men do construction. How many people is that? How many people in the United States? Let's keep it a buck. So what we talking about here is this reflection of you do need us. You just maybe in some ways, like I don't respect the fact that someone built this house that I'm in. I don't never know him. I don't say thank God for that man, but you know what? It's a reality. He made things more comfortable for me. Just like the lady who created the voiceover things that make apps more comfortable for us. A woman did that. I'm grateful. So I can't sit there and say women don't do nothing for me. I make money off apps. Thank you.
But I get the point you're making. It's like you can't because, for lack of better words, you're doing moving the boat, or you doing big things, or you got this organization, you're doing this, you're doing big things, that you forget about the man, right? That you negate that all of the work that he in the background or behind stage or whatever has a part of that in some way. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I mean, I get it. You know, I get that,
what's missing?
You know,
what's missing at this point? What's the next step for the women? For the women to understand that there is a need for the man. Those women who say we do not need those men.
But I think it's a lot of suffering and silence going on.
But I think that
suffering and silence.
I think I don't think that all women believe that. I don't think all women.
No.
Yeah, I don't think all women believe that. But
we're just
to
those women who say that.
But it's hard to change a woman's perspective because they get trapped in this this idea of being dominant, being less than or submissive or subjective to, right? Because if I say you need a man, that immediately means that you can't do without, or you can't survive without him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a strong word. Need.
That's not what that means.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't necessarily mean that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, you know,
validation is a super important thing, right? People try to downplay validation.
No, we all want
it. But here's the thing about all of that, right? Even the person who is a scumbag, the person who is not, has a support system of validation to validate what he's doing. Women think we don't check other men for when they do clown stuff. We check them, we do. But if it's somebody else validating his position, then it's okay. When did we come into this situation when it was okay? I'm gonna say something that's not popular opinion. I'm gonna say something that most street homies won't agree with. But when is it okay to show your rap sheet and say I've been in these streets? When was it okay to say I was a terror to the community? Because proximity says you was a terror to my community.
Exactly.
You wasn't a terror to the other community that pressed you to put you here. But you gonna show your rap sheet. Yo, we was holding down the jails. What does that mean? Let's really upgrade this conversation. What do you mean by showing your rap sheet? Yo, you saw me, I put in this work. What work did you put in? What work did you put in for this community or against or for? And I get it, right? We was in a situation with survival of the fittest, but we still got people enterprising. Like we come out and say, hey, these people who are selling us these products in our neighborhoods from other cultures is killing us, right? But you know, we have people come out of our community, move that person out and still sell us the same product under their brand name to say it's Black owned. Is it still lifting us up? These are the kind of conversations I want to have. Like, yo, bro, it's okay. Yo, you had a rap sheet. I understand. You went through a hard life. But when is the accountability going to set it? Oh, I had to do what I had to do. There's a lot of things we got to do what we got to do.
But what they're saying that when someone says that and they tell you the rap sheet, what they're trying to tell you is that in my ecosystem, I was strong enough to survive. I was a leader. Absolutely. I did what I had to do.
Let's do it.
That's what they're saying. What they fail to realize, even though that, you know, the braggadocious, they got the chest poking out, that same strength you have in these streets, you can put it to helping your community. That's why we're chastising you, or we're talking about you, or we're not holding you in the light that you want to be held in, as far as, you know, most of the people in the world are the upstanding citizens, is that you have the strength. A person that can sell, make millions of dollars in the drug game, that man can go run a Fortune 500 company.
But I will say this, let me not be antagonistic. Let me be the other side too. You got to show that resume so you can actually reach the kids that fall into the system.
It's true.
Right?
The ones that are in it.
I'm not against it.
That's true.
I just want to bring it up as a topic.
That's true.
I think that it's like if I'm one that's you know, disclosing whatever I did, you know, whether it's boasting about it, whether it's sharing it to help, you know, someone else, or whatever it is, you know, your experience is supposed to teach you something, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, it's what you do with whatever your rap sheet is. Like if you saying all this stuff about your rap sheet and you ain't putting no energy behind it to help somebody else, it's just a rap sheet. It means nothing.
Absolutely.
It's an experience that you went through that obviously you ain't learned from, or you're not using it for your benefit, or you're not being purposeful or being productive based upon the experiences that you're supposed to learn and grow from. That's where I'm at. Like it's like, yo, man, I just got out of the jungle, right? Yeah, that's what's up. I did all this to get out of the jungle, but you have no jungle skills at all when you get out. to build anything.
I think those are warriors. And
Like, you know what I'm saying?
They're really to contradict everything I said. Those are warriors, and I appreciate those guys who've been through those things because they really are wise people who come out on the other side.
Yeah.
I just think, what's the narrative? I understand you gotta reach the young kids, but what are the three things? And I'm gonna turn it over to you after this.
Mhm.
What are the three things a man needs to communicate with everybody? What are the top three characteristics? Like, for example, respect. Right?
Yeah.
I respect everything and everyone.
Mhm.
I never downplay anybody in their position of who they are. I respect the person you want to be at all times.
Exactly.
And it's gotten me through every door in life to the point where the guy who wants to show his rap sheet, I respect it because it's a walk I have no clue about. Or it's the walk I do have a clue about. I understand it and I respect it either way.
Mm-hmm.
So respect is what I always lead with. I always talk about respect and integrity. But what do you think is some of the other qualities that a man needs or a young boy needs just to walk through any door in life? We're right now, we're somewhere in the middle of the Middle East having this conversation. None of us thought we'd be here, but we're all from our respective places from all over the United States having this conversation.
Yeah, no.
I would say self-awareness, man. Self-awareness. Being able to understand who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, what you need to work on, and then being able to navigate the world in that, in that sense. A lot of times as humans, we just put up facades, right? Of what we are, what we should be, or what we want to be. But you can lie to everybody else, you can't lie to yourself. So it's the same way with with these kids. We have to, and as the older generation, we have to tell them too, hey, you need to know who you are in order to change to what you want to become. Be self-aware. Sit down, get away from your homeboys for a minute, and just think about what you're doing. Look in the mirror. That self-awareness can help you so much, because if you keep lying to yourself, then you start believing the hype that you're telling yourself.
Right.
Yo, yeah, I agree. I'm thinking about your question. You said three things. If I had three things to tell a young man in need.
No, the thing that you need to possess. Yeah.
Possess. You know what I'm saying?
For yourself, that you have.
Right. I think that three, it's a lot, but it's three of them. I want to pick three of them. Integrity, purpose, and what was the third one I had? Purpose. I had it right in my head.
Purpose is a huge one.
Respect. No, respect. What you said? Respect. What did I think of? I think respect too. Yeah. Respect, integrity, and purpose. I like that.
Yeah.
So, and I think these things because for multiple reasons, man. Like you were saying, Sheem, respect is a big thing. I know it was a big thing in my community when I grew up. Among men, respect is huge, right? And I think among men everywhere, respect is one of the top things that you can show towards one another, man. When respect goes out the window, man, that's when war begins, right?
Yep. War begins.
So then you have integrity, man. Wherever we walk with integrity, man. That kind of gives us it's like our ID card.
Your word is bond, B.
It identifies who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your integrity. So you if you ain't got integrity, man, like it's not much I can deal with, right? And you got purpose, man. Your purpose is what drives you, man, to be the best you can be in whatever you're trying to do, man. Because you got a vision, you got a purpose, you got a drive, man. So
it's funny that you say drive, because when I look at purpose, when I say someone has drive, that means they know how to stay in their lane. And when you stay in your lane, you start meeting people of the same avenues and streets of your purpose, and then it grows you to be this big wizard, right? You become this elder of knowledge and information. One thing I want to add on top of that is the upgrade. I think the upgrade is a lot important.
The upgrade.
What I mean by that is, let's say you had to sell drugs in your community, right? So you look at it this perspective. You're the middleman. Drugs are going to get sold. I'm going to sell them. I'm going to make me some money. Newspapers are going to get sold. I'm going to sell them. But what is the upgrade? I feel like we're the only culture that has not upgraded from our activities to doing what we have to do. I watch other cultures go from taking 10% from businesses, putting themselves owning construction companies, putting them in the clean money, going into government, predicting what governments do. What is the upgrade for us? I think upgrade is mad important.
That is,
we have not upgraded.
That's the path.
We are starting from the bottom every year.
Yeah.
We have not upgraded our bottom line.
I mean, I get it, man. I mean, I hear you, but I guess I wouldn't say that we haven't. I would say that more of us need to.
Need to.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
turn up.
Because like it's now Black people are more successful now than they've ever been, right? You know what I'm saying, to date, right? You talking about millionaires, you talking about people that have their own companies, their own businesses, from small businesses to big businesses. Black people owning things, man. We doing our part. We doing a great job. There's more of us need to do it. Great. You feel what I'm saying? Now, at the end of the day, it's like, because of this great success, how many of these great successful Black people are pulling the rest of us into that direction?
Because we don't.
That's what I think. That's what the conversation.
We don't own imports and exports.
We don't.
That's
And
where the real success is.
But this, okay, I get what you said. So when you say upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Upgrade. There does seem to be an invisible like wall, right? When it gets to a certain level of
invisible.
Yeah, it's invisible, an invisible wall, right? It trying to reach that top, right? Or whatever, where you're, of course, you know, in control of distributions.
Yeah.
You know, like
absolutely.
all of that, right?
Yeah, conversations.
So there is that struggle, you know what I'm saying, to get to that level. But when I say upgrade, in my opinion, you know, there are many Black people that have shown that we as a culture, we as a people, we have reached the greatest level we've ever been. You know what I'm saying?
You think ever?
I do. I mean, I ain't gonna say. In America.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I agree.
But because they've ever been around the world, that is
Yeah,
we've been higher than that.
So that's because in America, you of course you have your racism. Honestly, you have your pushback.
So the question, and one more question I have to ask: skill traits versus going to school and owing debt if you don't get a scholarship. Is that better for us or worse for us? Should we start getting back to skill traits, putting ourselves in these lanes of purpose to upgrade our communities? Because our communities need doctors, we need lawyers. We should know the law better than anyone.
Right.
Agree.
Like that should be a conversation about all the amendments. That should be a fun conversation between our kids. I know it sounds corny, but not really, because that's life or death.
Yeah.
We should be doing mock traffic stops in our house.
Yeah.
As games for our kids. Like, what happens when police pull you over? You don't try to hold court right there. You take your ticket and you keep going. You don't have an argument.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you just take your ticket and keep going.
Yeah.
You don't have court right there. Oh, I wasn't doing it. Nah, that's what court is for.
Yeah.
But I heard that from Bakari Sellers. He said that. Like, that's what court is for. But it's just a spread of information. So are we bringing back skill traits? Because it seems like our women are getting more advanced economically, but they also owe economically to other people. They're taking these advances, they're going to get these jobs, but on the back end, they still have to pay 15 years of debt just so they can say they have the job.
Well, that stems from our parents and grandparents told us what? When you graduate high school, you go to college.
Are we going back there?
Yes.
Where we started?
No. We've done that. We've done that. I've got 2 degrees. I've done that. But I would not argue with somebody who hasn't been to school, because there's a lot more successful people who haven't been to school than me. It's not just the schooling part. But now that we have that, now that that's normalized, now we need to normalize having the money to put our kids through college. We also need to normalize ownership. That's the next step. Our parents and grandparents didn't teach us about ownership. They taught us about education. Furthering your education. Once you get your education, that's something they can't take away from you. True. Now that we've made more intelligent employees, now it's time for us to become owners. That's the next step.
Yo, I also think, like, I've been reading the Will Smith book, and one thing he said, because in his book he talks about full disclosure, I'm not trying to get anything from this, but yeah, I just want to pull out a point of what he was making when he was talking about his mom being an educator, and really her whole dream was that he go to college. You know what I'm saying? Because that, for her, that was like, you know, all of the stuff that she went through with her dad and anything like that, the outcome, or all the stuff that I've been through, this is what's going to make it worth all of that. Him going to college, and in the fact that he didn't go to college, or you know what I'm saying, or he bucked against that, it kind of made it made it seem like
slide them back
that he was letting his family down because he didn't go. And a lot of us, I know for me, I'm a first generation college student, right, of my family. You know what I'm saying? So for me, being that guy, like, okay, my mom, my dad want me to go to college. It wasn't even about what I wanted. It was more of like, I'm going because my parents want me to go, and I don't want to let them down and everything like that. But then also realizing from the book, like it kind of in hindsight was like, that was his mom's dream. That was what his mom wanted to do. That's what his mom thought was the best thing for him. But when do we start to find out what's best for us? You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, because we don't have enough of those skills and those practical experiences and those talks about ownership and entrepreneurship and different ways to build skills to make a living for yourself and for your family outside of just college and student loans and debt and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
There's not enough conversations about those other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than just college.
This goes back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
This goes back to what I was saying from the beginning. Did the teachings of our grandmothers and mothers push us to propel us to this situation? Like just before, the generation before us said, go to college, get education. We did it. And this was the equation, the final thing that what it turned out to be. And now the narrative was, well, don't be like this. Don't be like your daddy or whatever. And now we have this. So what are we teaching our kids now? But I'm gonna turn it over to you, Mike.
Actually, that piggybacks off of something that kind of is going on in my household, right? So I have 3 kids, 13-year-old, 9-year-old, and a 7-month-old.
Just couldn't stay off, could you?
No. Press that repeat button. Start it all over. All boys. So
all right.
In raising kids, what me and my wife are trying to understand and get a grasp of now. We're college educated. We say go to school, right? We are kind of setting a path for them, doctor, lawyer, whatever it is, just a path. At what point is it okay for the child to say, hey, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And as a parent, help them or push them in that right direction. Reason being, when I was in school, freshman year, sophomore year, and I'm sitting in class with some of these people, I said, oh yeah, they're not going to make it. They don't want to be here. They don't want to be. They're not going to class. They drinking. They partying, which is fine. But when it came down to the school stuff, they weren't really feeling that. So I'm like, they must have been told you have to do something. You're going to go to college, and there you go, getting debt and things like that. So how do you, as far as raising a child, is it okay to set that path for them? You're an adult, so you can set a better path than they can as far as what they need to do, training, school. Here's a roadmap. Or do you let them feel what's in their heart, something that they probably will dedicate more to? For instance, son, you're going to be a doctor. You're going to go to school, college. You're going to go to Mercer University, whatever. You're going to go here. Son, come and say, hey, I want to be a rapper. If I'm not in the rap, I may dismiss that. How do I know he may be the greatest rapper ever? His heart may really be into it where he grinds to make that work. But if you just send him off to college, he gets some loan, debt, fails out. Now he's starting behind the 8 ball.
I think. Go ahead.
No, I think it's a tough for a parent though, right? If he came to you and you know that even if you didn't know a rap, you see no work ethic behind what you're saying, right? You say you want to be a rapper. I don't see you writing no rhymes. I don't see you rapping on the corner with your buddies. I don't see the enthusiasm that you saying you want to do. I don't see it in you. So now for a parent, for me, I'm saying you want to do this rap thing, but where's your work ethic? Where's your book? Where's your rhymes? Who's your people you hang with that can you freestyle? Rap right now.
Gotcha.
Like, you know what I'm saying? If this is something you really want to do, my thing is, my job as a parent is to put that work ethic in you for whatever it is you want to do. You want to do it, gotcha. Make it the best thing you need to do. And if I don't see it, then I don't believe it.
Here we go.
I think for me, it'd be about balance. If you keep in that scenario, I want you to be a doctor, you want to be a rapper.
Okay.
What I would do is I would go find out what it would take to be a rapper and implement that in their day. But on the bottom back line, we're still going for this doctor thing.
Gotcha.
Because when you do the research, rappers don't last that long, even the most successful ones.
Mhm.
So you need a backup bottom line. Even in other cultures, they insist that their children get a certain education. And if they veer off to do something else, they still have the knowledge to code switch to another pathway. I think the most beautiful thing about a child telling you what they want, you now have a pinpoint accurate analyzation of what you can now research to understand your child. And then you can also understand that you can write out an entire goal scrapbook for your children before they're born, because you know what's going on before they get here. I would love for my son to do coding. I would love for my son to be ready for the future. But if he expresses other things, then we're going to show him what it takes to be that. And for example, for those kids who want to be basketball players today, it is different than it was when we were growing up. Now we have nepotism in NBA. Now we have just straight people training to do certain moves. And it's not just playing basketball out in the park anymore. You're not just going to have free time to play video games. No, you're doing this all day, every day. The commitment of it, the consistency of it is what I would want to preach to them. This is what you have to do to be the best. So this way, if it doesn't go well, you cannot say as a parent, I didn't insist or give you this knowledge and information. I'm not going to say I told you so, but you're going to know. My dad told me I needed to take 1,000 jump shots a day. This is what it has to do, because many of us who didn't have fathers or didn't have mentors was trying to figure it out. When they wanted to be a basketball player back in our generation, you thought you just went to the park and you got nice. You didn't know that people was doing step to the left twice, pump shot, fade, step left, jump shot. Like it's combinations that they were learning. You had no clue. But now you know, in a world that's advanced, people are studying these moves and making the precise movements every day to do things. So I think it's a balance when we talk about being a rapper. How much vocabulary do you know? I'm not going to say, I wouldn't necessarily go the route you went. I don't disagree with you, but I would be like, okay, if he's not doing it, this is what you need to do to be great. This is the recipe of what I will go research a rapper. If I knew nothing about rap, I will go research. I say, hey man, I heard rappers don't even write that. The greatest rappers don't write stuff down. So what are you doing to work on that right now?
Gotcha.
I heard the greatest rappers know how to talk about women, what they own, and be snazzy and change their flows to different flows in their songs to keep people interested. What are you doing right now? Like, and it's just, and
that goes back to what I was saying before. Like, you have to, those conversations have to happen, right? With your kids.
Those are the beautiful ones.
And the point that I was making when I was saying that, you know, where's your rhymes, where's your work ethic, is because at the end of the day, right, you know, we have to not only talk about those things, those different things, but start to, because what if a child don't know what they're doing, what to do, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Then you like, okay, so now we have to introduce them to certain things, right? And then when they catch on to one thing, then when we introduce it to them, we got to see what part of them is excited about that.
There we go.
And where does the work ethic for that begin? You feel what I'm saying? Because all I can do, say if you've done all of that, right? I've given you the research. I've given you how to do this. I've showed you this is how a rapper does it. This is and then they be like, yeah, man, I want to do a rapper. But then they take all of what you did and do nothing with it. That's where I'm talking about. Where's your work ethic? This stuff that we're talking about that you want to do, you got to we have to instill in our children that type of work ethic.
You're right. Quick question. But do you let him fall on his face so he can learn about life?
Never. Nah, you never let him fall on his face.
For the moment, he doesn't take the research, right? You give him all to the moment. He was like, where's your work ethic? And you're like, oh, no, and he doesn't do it. Then he has a talent show and he does horrible. Do you look at him and say, this is why? Because the world is not going to be like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not going to be like that. Right. Because as men, we get insulted from day one. We don't get to have a thin skin. Oh boy, you ugly. Oh boy, like we get everything up front. While the rest of the world doesn't get that.
It's to be tough, you know.
Yeah, we get
up, don't cry.
We get all that up front. So absolutely, even in marriage, right? Even in marriage, there are moments where just talk as husbands. Right. Our wives learn different things, and we gotta go research and find it so we can have a conversation about what they're doing. Are people doing that? Are you upgrading yourself every year to learn a new skill to keep your marriage alive? Like learning a new skill, like seriously, are you learning a new skill to add to the household, or just learning a new skill, period? If you came into a marriage and you couldn't cook and it's 5 years later and you can't cook, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Any-
That might mean that none of y'all cooking. Yeah.
Ain't
ain't nobody.
But you know
everybody
what? But the key to
keeping
that
it
is the
out.
communication.
Yeah.
She may be okay with me not cooking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
she
That's
could be-
the
yeah.
thing.
I'm just saying it'd be
Yeah.
fun if you upgraded yourself.
Yeah,
Right,
and that's
The
the thing.
upgrade, once
And
again.
that opens too as far as communication in the household. A lot of times in marriage, we go off of standards, right? A man should do this, a woman should do this, or one person should do this, one person should do that. The reality is what works in your household.
Mhm.
I've got friends that neither one of us cook. We make sure we make enough money to order out every day. That's fine with me. That's like we focus on our career, but that works for them.
Yeah.
You got some old school people like, no, the wife is going to cook. That's what I do. Husband don't even leave that kitchen alone, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you have the reverse roles.
Yeah.
But my thing is whatever works for your marriage.
agree with
That's why
that.
you have to have that
I
communication.
agree with the whatever works. I think it'd just be cool sometimes you to pop up. If you're not a cooker, for the cooker to get a break sometimes. Like, I'm gonna cook tonight.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been learning.
Yeah.
I got a
Yeah,
little
one
skill.
cooking
I'm
and
not
not-
saying you
yeah,
become
I get it.
master, but you be like, hey,
Yeah.
I got this today.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I'm gonna order something. I'm ordering food. I got some stuff I tried. I'm gonna tell you, like, it's just that upgrade, and it just keeps that suspense going. But I know you have some stuff you want to talk about, Mike. So we got a whole smorgasbord of
come on,
questions
man.
for y'all. I hope y'all excited. Episode
Got
50.
some
Let's
random
get it.
things, man. Okay.
Go ahead.
Tell me what y'all think.
Yeah.
And I'll pose a question.
I ain't got no questions. I was about some questions, man.
You
So you ain't tell me about no questions, man.
You good, man.
Yeah,
Next
go
time.
ahead.
All right, look. Pros and cons of living together before marriage.
Ooh.
I say, which is not a popular opinion, especially in religion, standard, you should live together before you marry someone. There are things and habits that people have that you won't see just by merely dating and coming over at their best time, where they can clean up, they can get fresh.
Their representative.
Exactly. You see in a representation, their best representation at the time.
Yeah.
I need to see if this person likes to bathe every day. Not just when they see me. I need to see how this person cleans up. I need to see how this, what happens when this person sleeps. Just little things that may irritate me that may be deal breakers over a long run. Yeah, them not cleaning up every day may be okay. Like, okay, I'll clean up for them. I'll do this. But after year 5, year 6, that may, that just may be too much. So
I think we headed towards a culture where everybody keeps things separate. I think people gonna have their own houses and still be married. Like, I'm going to my house tonight. You going to your house tonight? Yeah, me too.
People let that down.
Yeah,
let that down.
Yeah, we headed towards.
Yeah.
I can see where that's healthy, and I can see where it can be, where everybody has their separate bills, and you worry about your bills, I worry about mine. But I can see that's healthy, and I can see that it's not.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, pros and cons of living together. That's interesting. Should you live together before you marry?
should you live together?
I think people's muscle memory takes a longer time to change by the time you decide to get married, even if you live with them. So whatever habits they traditionally have, that's not going to change within you living with them for a year, 2. It probably takes 5 years, 6 years for somebody to
If they're
change
willing
this-
to change it.
If they're willing to change
There
it,
you
for
go.
them to upgrade to the slightest habit, right? Living with somebody, when you get in that honeymoon phase, most men, we gonna lay up, or she gonna lay up, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So you kind of living with them anyway, and you're gonna get a whiff and see how it goes. But I think one of the biggest thing about living with somebody is, do you enjoy their smell? Do you like the
That's
way
interesting.
that person smells? Like, I think that's a key component that people dismiss. Like, I love the way my wife smells.
That
regardless.
scientifically makes sense because of pheromones and things.
Yeah.
So, no, that makes sense.
And then when you're in a comfortable state where you actually want to be there. Because we start to take on different traits. If y'all remember that movie Love Jones, right? Remember the movie Love Jones? It's an old movie, kids. Check it out. It's a great film. Lorenz Tate, Nia Long. Nia Long is still bad, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
In that movie, if I'm not mistaken, she didn't smoke cigarettes until she started messing with him. And then later on in the movie, you see her take on that trait of smoking cigarette. Even though it's like, it can be considered as a bad trait, their lives started to blend and they started to mesh and do the same thing. So you learn different traits. What do you think, man? Pros and cons.
Well, first, man, I want to point out the fact that you made, man. It's a fact, man, that I heard someone say this, that he said, any man, he said, if you want a woman to be a little more attracted to you, he said, make sure you smell good.
Yes.
He said, I'm telling you,
That
he
was
said,
my father.
even the ugliest guy will look a little bit better.
My
if you
father had
smell
all
good.
the colognes. My father had all the colognes on the dressing. I remember being
Yeah,
little.
man.
I'm going to middle school. I'm
Yep.
hitting, oh, you smell good. No, you're right. You're right.
So I want to throw that at, but I always got my stuff, man. I mean, I've always done it. That's high school. You learned that when you were in middle school.
I'm gonna keep
You know
it
what I'm
a
saying? Making
buck.
sure you smell good.
Yeah.
When I was in college and my girlfriend would come over, man, I'm throwing everything in the closet. Are you serious? My room was dirty.
Yeah.
She had no idea.
Exactly.
Surprise!
Exactly.
Don't open that closet though. Don't.
Pros and cons, man. I've been in situations where I've had women that were very neat and then very messy, man.
Neat and very messy.
Neat.
Yeah.
And then others that are very
Yeah,
messy.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Not, you can't be neat and messy.
Yeah. And messy and dirty aren't the same thing.
Messy and dirty. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yo, you heard what Sinbad said
Right,
about
yeah.
dirty and funky.
Yeah.
Dirty we can wear again. Funky's in the class
There you
by
go.
itself.
Right. I don't think I ain't messing nobody funky. Or dirty. But yo,
Or dirty.
You know what I'm saying? So I think so to the question, man. I think there are pros and cons of living together before marriage. I first think that you shouldn't live with a person before marriage.
Okay.
Because now you playing house, right?
Okay.
And you haven't committed to them fully yet, but you're living with them, you're making marriage decisions when it comes to bills. I mean, I'm assuming you bills, responsibilities,
under normal
house,
circumstances.
you know what I'm saying? You're making these commitments on yourself. So now you're acting as if you are in that type of relationship, which can cause pressure to a couple, you feel what I'm saying, and extended conflict, right?
So, quick
Because
question. I want to keep you right there.
Hold on, man.
Hold on. Yeah, you got it because you right here with me.
Come on.
What about the people that see it as you're saying that marriage is a government institution for taxes? Like people look at it that way. But people that actually say, hey, we really are married. We just don't need to go down to the courthouse and sign paperwork to do it. In that regard of how you feeling, I want you to finish your statement, but I didn't want you to go so far and then the subject line changes a little bit.
No.
In that regard, what do you say to people like that who actually go well together without documentation?
Well, that in itself is to me it's a different headline, right? You talking about people that are not married at all. They're just in a relationship. But they together, you feel what I'm saying? As if they were married or before marriage.
Or before marriage.
Now, this before marriage, is this we're going to get married, or have we talked about marriage, or we just shacking up? Because you got people that just shack up, they just living together for the benefit of either bills, or they just love each other, they want us to be hanging out, but they just want to be like that, for multiple reasons.
Gotcha.
So I guess I'm being very general when I say what I'm saying.
I got you.
When it comes to just before you get married, marry, right? And I also think that it kind of, if you're courting one another, like as you should, right? Before you get married, I think you mentioned this. You're gonna be over their house. You're gonna be with them all the time. It's a honeymoon phase, like you said. So you're gonna see how they living. They may not. Because
I can clean up every time she come over.
I get that, but the thing is, if I'm always over your house, like for people that really are honeymooning, like he's saying, they always at the house.
You miss it. Yo, we going out
they
tonight.
damn near together all the time. I'm always at your house. I'm at your house more than when I'm at my own house.
Gotcha.
You got people that are in that right now. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like I see how you living. I see when you wake up in the morning. I make you breakfast in bed. I'm here. I'm not going nowhere, right? I'm just not living here.
The funny thing about the guy who's always at the girl's house, she was like, let's go to your house. Yo, chill. Yo, I ain't clean up yet. Yo, stop.
Man.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I do think that they're like, I'm not saying it's like I'm all one-sided. You said there are pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
So the cons is that. Now the pros to it, of course, is the general stuff. Like you get to know them more, you know what I'm saying? You've kind of, I guess, ironed out all of the necessary, and it's like, again, it's not even ironing it out because it takes a long time, like you said,
exposed
to really, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of puts, again, I guess I'm going back to the con now, but I guess the pro is like, you get a chance to kind of see what life would be with them before it happens.
We all know what the pros for men is, but the showers, the rollover, all that good stuff. Let's be grown here. So the hot rags, all that good stuff.
But like he's saying, you can get that if she's just over or you're just over all the time. But the playing house, I think, is necessary because everybody doesn't know how to play house. Me as a young child, I didn't visualize how I was going to be as a husband. I visualized how I was going to be as a father. Moreover, so somebody like me who probably didn't prepare, when I first got married, it's some things I had to change. I got 2 people in this household that's going to be here, some people can't make those changes or are not willing to. So if you don't do the shack up role with intention of doing it forever, once you do shack up under marriage, there may be things that just will not work in the household that may be deal breakers. So that's just saying there's pros to it.
What is a deal breaker from living together, y'all? Let's go through that. What is a deal breaker when you live together? What is a deal breaker?
Just take the bathing thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, I know one dude that.
I know that's extreme, but sometimes you extreme stuff. But
when I look on TikTok and they do those memes and they say who bathes more, who bathes less.
Yeah.
A lot of times the guy be pointing at the girl like she bathes the less. And I'm like, whoa.
Whatever the situation is,
You say a guy what? I'm not gonna let you.
No, I'm just saying a guy was in a situation with a woman and that didn't bathe like as much as he would have liked her to. Like he would ask her basic stuff like, okay, you just finished working out.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're gonna come in and you're gonna bathe. No, she would want to just chill, be on the couch and just shower and then maybe shower.
Maybe,
later.
Yeah.
Like,
he like,
or she never showered, or she never showered before bed.
Yeah.
Like, like, yo, why you getting this in bed? Like, what are you doing? Like,
but to him,
pheromones.
But to him, that made me
you should shower after you go to workout.
But to him, that may mean more. To someone, they be like, okay, yeah, eventually she'll get in the shower. Okay, it ain't that bad. To someone else, like, nah, man, you are nasty.
Yeah, they were like, you nasty.
You need to fix
does that skip over love, you guys?
No, it can actually destroy them.
Yeah,
it don't skip over it. It go right through it.
Exactly. Yeah,
love right through that, Jake.
Love is overrated. Love is overrated.
What's more important, love or like?
Like. I like because
I'm
gonna tell you like this. Like you can love everybody. Like you know what I'm saying? I love y'all, man. Y'all, you're my homies. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, but I can love a person. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel it's my duty as a Christian, as a person to love everybody. You ain't really do me no harm. Okay, I love you. I love everybody. Everybody cool with me. Boom, boom. But to be in your presence and to like you like that, to want to be around you like that, that's a different kind of I don't know, because we just on jail. I love you, bro.
I love you,
but we don't really have much in common. Like, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like I see you, it's my dude. You know, exactly. But I can't really rock out with you like that.
Yeah, same thing. You know, I can love you as a person and what you're trying to do with your life, but our interests may not align. So I really don't like you. I can't really just like be comfortable with you, but I can love you for what you're trying to do. You may be a good father. You may be a good father as a person. Like, man, you really doing. You take your kids everywhere. You talk to your kids and stuff like that. But you also may always cheat on your wife. So I can't really like you because you know every time we go out, you looking for the girls and all that. So
that's left. Listen, man. And I think it's also a personality thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You value people's personality.
Yeah.
So and that's why I think like you set yourself up. We'll go back to what you're saying. You setting yourself up to me when you living with a female and you learn all this stuff now, and then. Although people might not mind, you know what I'm saying, getting their stuff and moving out there like that, but it causes more conflict. Like I can easily break up with you, but I got my own apartment, right? You know what I'm saying? I got somewhere else I gotta go. I ain't gotta go find no other place. Like it's so many things that can kind of like.
If she walk away,
but at that point, are you putting one foot in and one foot out? You're not committing
from behind.
Perception. It can be, it can be viewed like that.
If she walk away, I'ma love her from behind.
Man.
1 foot in, 1 foot out, huh?
1 foot in, 1 foot out. Absolutely. A lot of men do that too. Because, like I said, me growing up, I didn't know. Maybe because my parents divorced at 14. So in my eyes, divorce is normal.
But there's nothing
divorce
wrong.
Is okay to me.
But is
because no happy marriage ended in divorce.
Is there something wrong with divorce though?
No.
Are you a failure if you get a divorce?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. It depends on how you go into it. Like no one goes into. I don't think so. Most people, I ain't gonna say all, but in my opinion, I think most people don't go into marriage with the idea that they're going to divorce.
No, I don't.
Man.
Listen,
Or even this,
Except for
right?
Hollywood marriages.
Right.
About 2 years. They got about 2 years.
Yeah.
We get a baby out this thing and we good.
Or like in anything you try to achieve. If you're like, this is till death do us part, right? You know what I'm saying? It's, it's like, if this is listen to it. If I vow to do something, that means that there must be a level of understanding that whatever I'm vowing to is going to be difficult to do.
Gotcha.
I don't vow that I'm going to.
It's going to be a process.
Man, I vow to you, bro, that I'm gonna finish this bottle of Jack. Or this ice cream, I vow to you, bro, that I'm gonna finish it today.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody's vowing to do something that they know they can do. That you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're vowing because you know whatever it is that you're doing is going to be difficult to do.
Okay.
And that
Whether you know how difficult it is.
Whether you know how difficult it is,
Yeah.
but you know that there's going to be some obstacles.
Yeah, you know.
And whatever it is, you know that when that comes, I'm going to do everything I need to do to get past it.
So how do you feel?
So divorce is not okay if you haven't done everything you needed to do to keep the union together.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
And outside of what you know what to do as well.
That's true.
And
that's true.
How do you guys feel that 80% of women leave the marriage? What is that? How does that make you feel?
I would think that probably ties into maybe more men are just cheating.
Well,
and
they say at a 26% rate men cheat, and I think at 22 or 23% women cheat, but there's more women than men.
It's more women than men.
So
what do you mean?
We're about even
when it comes to cheating.
When it comes to cheating in marriages.
Yeah.
I see that.
So,
okay.
But 80% of the time they leave. How does that make y'all? What does that seem to you? What is that? I know it doesn't matter to you personally, because you have your own personal home.
Yeah.
What does that feel about where we're at as a culture? Because most times, to be honest, when these marriages go astray, it kind of leaves a wrinkle in time for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't get to remarry. A lot of people fall into financial struggles. Kids get affected. Things happen where we're no longer building.
Mm-hmm.
We're just stuck.
I think that the reason why, if I could give a definition, I could be wrong, of course, why women would leave more, right? Because
that's not afraid to be wrong.
I think that women are a lot connected emotionally, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to a relationship or a marriage, they're connected emotionally. They're nurturing. They're that part of the union, right? Yeah. And once that emotion is gone, once that feeling of like their natural feeling of emotion and nurturing and loving and comforting is gone, then there's nothing left for the women to do, which again, I think leads them to move on, or to at least be separate from that. Even in their hurt, they're no longer connected. Either that, or they're hurting so much that they can't trust this man anymore to allow themselves to be vulnerable with him.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. And 20% of the time, well, actually 80%, right? So most of the time, men aren't getting to that phase.
Because we're not emotional beings. We're conquerors. We're lions. We're workers of the land. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
Yeah.
The women are the nurturers. We're the ones that go out to hunt. Mm-hmm. We are the ones that do this.
Dare I say having one wife just doesn't work?
Worse for me, because I can't handle more than one. I'm gonna tell you that now. I can't afford more than one. I can't handle more than one.
I'm good, yo. I'm good.
You had some questions that you wanted to ask the group, and I think it would be great for us to talk about it. Once again, this is SOULutions for Men podcast, episode 50. I'm super excited here. I want to thank you to these two men that coming out here today. We're just having candid conversation. We usually have these deep questions that I come up with, but today we're just having a state of the union, pretty much.
Nice. That's it, man.
All right, so I ran across a little interesting post regarding marriage. So, man to the woman. So the statement is, my wife has gained weight and I don't find her physically attractive anymore.
Ouch.
But I love her wholeheartedly and want her to be healthy with me. And real quickly, there's some more to it. So, been with my wife for 8 years now. And over that time, our weight has fluctuated. Since 2017, we've been trying to lose weight and I've managed to lose 60 pounds and now I'm thin. And in my health Am I healthy BMI range? So he's good now. I've been trying over the last few years to get my wife on board, but she doesn't stick with it. I asked her to go on walks and jogs with me, but she refuses. I asked her to walk our dogs or take our daughter to the park, but it's few and far in between. She did a weight loss challenge and lost 20 pounds last year, but has since gained it back. She is approximately 70 pounds overweight. When we first got together, she was a little thick, which I loved, and absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm not attracted to the extremely unhealthy version of her. I love her with all my heart, and I never dreamed of leaving her, but my attraction is so much lower because of her weight. How do I go about this? I love for her to be healthy with me. I love her, and I want my attraction to her to be better. Any info or help is appreciated.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Yo, I'm about to say anything. Go ahead.
I'm about to keep it a buck. What happens when y'all turn 70?
And,
right.
And you're both not attractive?
Yeah. Like it comes to a point where you said 8 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else is attractive about her? Is just her physically? Or you just went out about there? Because listen, I'm not condemning that brother for having what he likes, right? What his love language is.
Okay.
But at the same time, bro, things are gonna sag. Things are gonna be different. Life is gonna come in. Is she having babies for you?
Yep.
What's going on here? Because it's not the whole story. Yes, men lose weight faster than women. Scientifically proven.
Okay.
We do the thing, and we have. It depends on how his household is run, what type of availability he has to actually implement these things.
Yeah.
Now, I do agree that he is inviting her on these journeys, and she doesn't want to take them. Her muscle memory is different from what her achievements are, and we do outgrow each other. But he's not saying that we outgrown each other. He's just saying physically, you don't look good.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Physically, we all not going to look good one day.
Eventually.
At some point.
Yeah.
That he's not saying that she's not growing with me in the mentality and moving forward with his family. He's saying physically, you're not looking good no more. There's other women that look good.
I wouldn't say that, but yeah, go ahead.
That's what he's saying.
I would suggest to him continue doing what he's doing, right? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, women they get down about their weight, they get down about where they are, and when they feel like they're trying and it's not seeming to satisfy them at the time, they lose interest. So what he's doing with the challenges and the whatever it is, keep the challenges going, man. You know what I'm saying? Invite her to work out with y'all, work out where though the kids can go, you know, and y'all can do y'all own thing, man. You know what I'm saying? It's ways around just allowing her or just sitting in his
temper tantrum.
I don't know.
He's mad as
and it's like, yeah, you're just not look at you, right? You're looking bad now. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because
look at that.
Because at the end of the day, this is your prize, right? You know what I'm saying? God bless you with this woman. You know what I'm saying? And you with her, you married, and that's the thing. And the thing is, at the end of the day, my father always taught me. He was like, yo, he's like in marriage, and he always used examples. He said, you got to water your flower, right? This is your flower. You know what I'm saying? This is yours. Okay. Now you can choose to not water it and see it wilt and just fall away until it ain't nothing else, or you can continue to flower and it'll be beautiful all the time. And then even in the midst of her feeling like she's not beautiful, he's got to understand that it's not about her weight that's not attracting to him. It's about her work ethic to get the weight off that's unattractive. Because I bet you if she get in the gym and she working it out, she's gonna start to look a little bit different, because it's not the fact
and that pressure is gonna be on
right,
him.
You know what I'm saying?
Now he gonna have guys like
right, you know what I'm saying? Because
because
when she was doing the weight challenge, you was cool.
Yeah,
she was doing weight challenge. She
some success,
and she didn't lose the 20 pounds the next day. Yeah, it took a while for her to lose that weight. Yeah, so obviously she was overweight when she started. Yeah, but you was, you know what I'm saying? You was intrigued. You was, you know, with her, and you were saying, I'm sure because she was actively doing it, it made you attractive to her. You know what I'm saying? But now that she's not doing the things that you want her to do, now she becomes unattractive. And my thing is also, last point is communication is key. You feel what I'm saying? Communication is everything. The problem with marriages is this, that we try to avoid the tough conversations. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes when you avoid the tough conversations, you either eat yourself up and you find yourself walking away, or miserable, because you ain't had the hard conversation. You ain't had the courage enough to have a hard conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you had a hard conversation, you understand that, okay, babe, I want to talk to you about something. You know what I'm saying? And it's been on my mind, and I don't want you to feel attacked or anything by what I'm about to say to you. You know what I'm saying? But this is the things that I've been thinking about, and I'm saying this in love. And if she's able to take that in love and receive that in love, that will be even more powerful for her to be like, damn, my husband feels this way, and let me try to do a little bit more than what I'm doing, because I do want him to feel a certain way about me. Ain't no woman gonna be like that. Well, I'm good, man. I don't care less how you think how I feel or how I look. I mean, if she's not that kind of woman, then there's hope. You know what I'm saying? There's a way, you know, hey, you,
like I said,
you know,
I think it's more to it than what he was saying. It's more to it that I think it's more to it than if you lose attractiveness, right? I think it's more to that. I think he might be looking at her ambition. He might be looking at
that's what I'm thinking.
her drive.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, we're trying to
you
move
ain't
forward.
trying to do nothing. Like
He's looking at something.
Or somebody else though.
There you go. Also, he said too that when I first met her, she was thick, and I loved it. That may have been the number one thing.
The apex.
That may have been not her personality, her work ethic, drive, great, whenever they, whatever, how she is as a mother, things like that. That may be the defining factor for him. Maybe. So now your top quality, you're starting to diminish on that top quality to him, or now he can't handle it. And he mentioned previously, I love her wholeheartedly. But do you?
I love her.
Do you? Wholeheartedly.
Because my thing is like, my thing is like, you can, because everybody has a type.
Yep.
Everybody has a type. Right. Everybody has attraction. It's a natural thing to have whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's this thing that's built in us, right? Yeah. I could throw this out. It's all of these are assumed scenarios, right? So you getting your stuff together, and he's working out, and obviously he's somewhere where other people are working out as well. So because you see this where you at, and then you go home and you see this, you always compare it. Yeah. It's a comparison. Whoa. So that starts to affect your mental after a while.
Exactly.
I think what is mainly important about being married and being in a marriage is you need to be your whole self for your spouse. If you are a freak or you are a person who speaks outspokenly, be that. Because don't let your spouse be surprised about who you are when you're in mixed company or when they hear about you. They got to be like, yeah, that sounds like him. Yeah. Right. She got to know you more than anybody else in the world.
That's right.
Even if you're a person who loves being promiscuous, loves flirting, she got to know that about you. Yeah, he gonna do that, or she gonna do that. That's who she is. But at the end of the day, you know who they are with you when this union happens. Everybody has their own standards. Everybody has their own agreements of how each one of them should act in public or in private. But as long as you have this agreement, if my wife walk past me and say, yo, you need to come down like 10, 20 pounds. I'm not going to be hurt about that because I know she really cares about me. Yeah. I know she don't want a medical bill when we're 65 years old.
I get that right. That's true.
Like, it's a lot of things that we're talking about here that it goes a long way. I know you had another question.
No, actually, I'm going to piggyback off something you just said. You said be your whole self.
Yeah.
So how important is it, even before you're dating, in a perfect scenario, to be friends with the person that you're about to date, or in our situations, be friends with the girl before we actually have the title boyfriend, girlfriend?
Well, y'all spoke about like is friendship.
Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah,
like is friendship. Like you have to really, like, for me, being married, there are times where the love circles back around, and so does like. Because you got to get back to it, and people don't talk about that in marriage.
Yeah, because sometimes you might not even like each other.
Yeah, you might not like each other at the moment, but there's a circle back around where it picks back up because you really appreciate the person that they are, but it might take a while. Because if we talking about till death do us part, you might go a whole year where you just can't stand each other. Then you might go 7 where you love each other. Then another year comes in where the growth happens. Yeah, where everybody's changing their ideologies, their knowledge, their understanding is different. Their leadership. You might clash on what religion you want your baby to be. Like, it could be anything that comes along that derails this process from permeating together. And when we talk about like, love, and relationships, it comes back around. But one thing you do have to understand when you're married is if you're in it for that, the person is going nowhere. I once heard a woman say, I'm married to my husband regardless of what he does. Right? And And she said, I don't have to like him. I don't have to form a union with him, but in front of everyone else, we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna do what we have to because I made a commitment for me, my vow, right? And some people like, nah, I ain't doing that. But some people like, yo, I hear her. It depends on who you are.
Yeah.
Be your whole self.
Just be yourself.
And be unapologetic about it. But don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Hypocrites don't listen to people when they speak. And then when something happens, they go, they're the victim. Now, this person is telling you. He's telling her. Let's just pick his side for a second. Let's just pick his side. Hey, babe, I don't like the fact that you gained weight. You looking unattractive. Oh, boy, stop playing. She put food in her mouth. She keep putting food in her mouth. Just ignore his emotions and his feelings of what he's saying. And then he gets a divorce and finds a person smaller.
See, that's where
our society would say she's a victim. But he's telling her. When women or men tell you something, listen.
Yeah, that's what it is. I heard
and react
to that. I think, I mean, like you say, I mean, being your whole self is most important, man, you know, because then you know who you're dealing with before you get you to that hour, before you start to get into a real relationship or a serious one anyway. But then to your point about friends, man, like friends is like, that's a part where you realize that this person can be in your, allow them to be in your space like that. You know, you enjoy that time, because like, why would you get into a long relationship with somebody that you're not even friends with? That don't make sense. I mean, like,
that's part of why. That's part of you putting on the. All right, when you first starting dating, you got to be your best self, right?
Yeah,
that's part of it. Yeah. When you're friends with someone, or let's say we are as a whole group of us, and there's some females, and we always talk. You know, there's no relationship there, but we always talk. So I see her in a light, in a normal light, in a friendship light, not as one trying to court each other.
You
like
know her personality,
you know her person, her true personality, as she is as a person, not someone who's trying to court. Is that important to view or to see before getting into a relationship?
Because honestly, I think that like even in those moments, right? Like you may be talking to or like you said, in the same setting with a bunch of people and anything like that, and you see the female and y'all cool, and like boom, she like, man, she like one of the homies, man. I could, you know, we can talk about anything, but she's like that in mixed company.
Got you.
You get what I'm saying?
Not in relationships.
But in a relationship, she's different, right? You know what I'm saying? That's when the friendship becomes, okay, how much of friends are we? Because you have friends that are friends only in mixed company, and you have friends that we're actually friends. We can hang out by ourselves. We have real conversations, right? You know what I'm saying? I know about your mama. You know my daddy. Like I know where you come from. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have those type of friendships. Those are the friendships that really we talking about right now.
Gotcha.
You feel that kind of friendship? Because me and my wife, initially, we were friends in mixed company. So I knew her when it was everybody chilling. You know what I'm saying? And how she was, you know, how she used to work, like, you know, hey, like she's real bubbly and anything like that. But as a friend, when we started to like have when the mixed company become smaller, when it's not as many people, when it now, instead of it being now a group of 10 of us, it's now a group of 4 of us.
More communication.
So now we can talk more. We can kind of boom by to the point where as though that's when we really realizing like, wow, there's something about her. There's something about him. When the company started to get smaller, to a point where as though when we realized like, I think I'm interested in her because she seems cool. Let's try to see what it looks like when it's just us. So then we became friends one-on-one and began to learn each other.
Gotcha.
Understanding that, you know, boom, boom, at the end of the day, we became friends for a purpose. We're like, okay, well, all right, let's ask more questions about each other, because it wasn't the pressure of being boyfriend and girlfriend or anything, because we chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, so tell me more about yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Boom, boom. And if it worked, it worked. You know what I'm saying? If it didn't, we just keep it moving. But in our case, it worked.
Gotcha.
650.
Check, man. Communication, take your time. That's what she said. That's what my wife said. Okay. So take your time.
Questions for us.
I got you, schedule. Got you.
How much time we need?
20.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I think we kind of covered a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, we about to get into it.
No doubt. Go
About
ahead.
to get into it.
Come on. We're good.
All right, so I want to talk about this. This has been bothering me.
Disclosure, man, for all husbands out there, man. Make sure your communication is right with your wife. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you know what I mean, all corners are covered, man. You know what I'm saying? I want no issues when I get home, man.
Yes,
You know what
sir.
I'm
Yes,
saying? 'Cause
sir.
I got a little man I got to look after, man.
There
So,
you go.
you know, I don't want to be off my game.
Man, I don't do that checking in stuff.
Yeah.
I don't look like checking in with my wife, homie. You bugging, dog. I'm a G, cuz.
Wait till after this
Hey,
podcast.
baby.
Exactly. After this podcast.
Hey,
You see that belt?
baby.
You get that belt?
Hey,
Get that
baby,
belt in the
we
background.
good.
Better check it.
Sound like somebody clapping cheeks back there. What's going on back there? So I think the conversation I want to have while we're closing, and thank for everybody tuning in. I know it's a little different format today. If you're first time listener, the format is different. If you're all the time listener, thank you for checking it out.
Sure.
The conversation I want to have is a very deep one. From my perspective, anecdotally, I never heard a black man say I hate black women. But I've held a conference room and people say they've heard those things, which I accept and I respect. I told you I lead with respect. My problem is I'm hearing that the next generation of black men are saying black women ain't ish. But what I see is a lot of black women coming together and taking on roles and conjugating different plights they necessarily don't live, or people making money off the propaganda to perpetuate something they don't live outside of them monetizing money. So the narrative is good that we have this diversified relationship between black men and black women. I'm going to make money off this, but in my personal life, I'm married, I got kids, I'm doing great, and I'm taking the money. It's no different when we talked about selling drugs to the community. Now we're selling pain. Now we're selling relationships. Now we're selling trauma. It's no different. This is a different drug. We're selling trauma right now. We're selling discourse.
Yeah.
And for me, and you guys speak anecdotally, right? We all come from different walks of life. We got other homeboys in these streets and everything like that. Most black fathers I know, most are good fathers. Most men that I know, and I keep a large catalog of men, they're doing good. They're doing things and they have integrity with respect. And I implore other females to get with somebody of a man who has this integrity, respect, and things of life, because he's not going to let other people come into his circle that don't permeate or have the same level of energy that he possesses. Statistically, it says 16% of the black men in our community populate our population. 16%. That means there's a whole nother percentage that's not getting nothing. They're not making babies. They're not dropping it, getting it. It's only 16%. But it seems like that 16% is also driving the narrative of who we are substantially as a whole, man. My question to you all after I made this large statement is, how do you feel when you see they say that black men ain't ish and that we don't love black women and that we talk about them in a negative light? And to add a caveat on top of that, how do you feel that, for examples, they use teenage boys instead of the men around them for their examples?
What they use what the teenage boys say?
They use what teenage boys are doing in high school and in college versus the men. 80% of black men marry black. 80%, over 80%. But that's something that's not on TV. We got like 2 shows, maybe.
I don't know how to respond. I mean, when you said 16-year-old boys, man, and you basing your narrative upon what they saying, what they doing.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing.
I'm like,
they're looking at these babies, these young boys, and saying, hey, they're taking the wrong kids to the prom. They're taking other cultures to the prom. They're doing all this diversifying of their portfolio, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean
I'm empathetic to the women that are saying that, because
let's hear it.
I mean, as far as when I say I'm empathetic, I feel sorry for them that you think that way. You know, honestly, that you think.
But this is what they're seeing, and this is their reality. This is their experiences. But what I'm saying is, these are not my experiences. And barbershop talk all around the world that I know, I've been in a lot of places. we've all traveled the world.
Mhm.
We've all been in a lot of places. I've never heard black men say such whole. Now I say men. I heard men say, honestly, man, I'm tired of these bees. Yo, they get on my nerves.
Mhm.
But then he go date another black woman. He go get another one.
Yeah.
I've never heard them say.
It sounds like it's coming from a place of hurt from those women. So,
but how much hurt we got?
If it's not a large topic, if it's not the majority of the men that are saying that, and there are a few men that are saying it, and it's sticking to them like that, to where it's an issue.
It's not just
No.
them. It's sticking to the narrative.
I'm gonna throw it out there, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna say it like this: like there are men, right? Because I've listened to multiple podcasts and conversations,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to interracial dating, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a hot topic where why don't the black man marry the white woman? I mean, why the black man don't stay in his
Race.
his race, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of it is because the black woman is loud, the black woman is
That's not
this,
true.
that, stereotypical stuff,
Yeah.
right? You know what I'm saying? About how they act, essentially, right?
Yeah.
About the white woman act.
Mhm.
But then you also we have our experiences, right? We have our experiences with identifying with black women that are intelligent, that are driven, that are respectful, you know what I'm saying, that are queens, right?
Mhm.
But then, just to throw it out there, you do find yourself seeing on occasions
Mhm.
certain black women not portraying themselves as the other ones would want them to. I mean, that's where I may be commercial. People may not agree with what I'm saying, but
You go, girl.
when you
brave.
when you hear about when you hear women say stuff like, I don't want a man that works 9 to 5. I want a shot caller, or I want a drug dealer, or I want somebody that I want somebody that got money, that when I need money, they just give me money when I want money.
Wait, let me ask you this question. Is that the overall narrative? I don't think that's the underbelly.
I'm not saying
That
it's
is- I think-
overall, but what I'm saying is
That's a piece.
I'm putting it in perspective, because what happens is when a woman or when we say that a man says that black women ain't ish,
Mhm.
you feel what I'm saying? We got to understand, okay, we don't necessarily agree with that, but what is causing them to say that?
That's it.
We can't negate that. We can't just say, oh, they just
But
randomly said
it's
that.
happening vice versa. That's the thing. Both of us are saying we ain't ish to each other.
But
And
the thing is,
and I don't see evidence to where we can substantiate where we both don't feel like we ish. Black women are awesome. And a lot of black men I know are awesome.
awesome, that's right.
Right. And there are some since I'm a man, I can't speak for women. Since I'm a man, I know some men who are trying to get it together, or they're never gonna want to get it together.
But I'm gonna use an example for you real fast, right? If I walk up to a bucket or a cup, this cup of water, right?
Mhm.
And I got something in the water, like a bug or something.
Mhm.
Most people, especially if you're at a restaurant, right, gonna say, oh man, hold on, let me get a spoon real quick and get this bug out of this water. No, you're gonna say, I want a whole nother cup of water.
Mhm.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you think about what I'm saying and then you put it in perspective, like, although we got some really good men, we got some really good women, sometimes the ones that are put on the screen or that they make it, some black men make us look bad.
Yeah.
Word is like, that's fact.
And systematically, they get paid to be there.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they take the bait, right?
Yeah.
And so back to my water, somebody that's trying to find the good one, gonna look and be like, oh man,
I'm good.
Somebody who's thirsty.
or somebody that's thirsty, or somebody
know there's
that
no more
wants water
wants the water
Like-
and wants some
But
clean
nah, I'm
water.
good with this whole glass.
Yeah, saying every situation right now, this is all the situation I have. This is my experience right now. This cup of water.
Mhm.
I want some clean water. This experience right now has led me to want a whole different cup of water.
Yeah.
And you know what happens with what we're experiencing? There's no more water or cups to go around. So you rather go thirsty. And it's the same scenario when you say, if I gave you a big bowl of Skittles and told you one would kill you, would you take a handful and eat it? If it was 3,000
No.
Skittles in a
You wouldn't.
3,000 Skittles in a bucket,
Yeah.
would you? And one Skittle would kill you. Would you take a handful and eat it for $10 million?
Nah.
No.
You wouldn't.
So I agree with you when you say that. And what is making me upset is the narrative that we don't move fast enough as black men, or we don't defend black women. Let me say this out loud. When you say we don't defend y'all if domestic violence or any other situations going on. You have to remember there's a two-way street on defense. When we step out there to defend someone, and whether it's a stranger, sister, or cousin, if we are married, we're leaving our family defenseless. We have to make a decision right there whether we're going to leave what we've been cultivating to defend you.
Our castle.
Right.
We have to leave our castle.
How do we fix that?
Unattended.
We fix that by having these things already in place. Men know when they're held accountable for things, they do not do certain things. When other men know, because there's a lot of cowards out there, and there's a lot of real dudes, right? It's a lot of real dudes, a lot of cowards. But when accountability is present in a room full of men, only certain men step up and bark because they know they can handle the accountability that comes. A lot of men was like, I don't want none of that. Because I don't even want to see how it goes for me for that situation. It's just a room full of men. And that's what, to me, what it looks like when we're talking about, if you're walking down the street and you see a man beating on a woman, right? Are you supposed to immediately jump in and say, hey, don't beat on that woman? Knowing you got kids and wife at home and this man might have a weapon and you don't? Knowing that you don't know what happened between them to bring both of them to that extreme? Because we had a conversation about how many women actually hit men that's unreported. And all people can do is pull up stats of what is reported. But when you ask a lot of men throughout their life, how many women hit you first and you didn't do anything? That is another ego thing or another pride thing we got to get past. Like,
So on the surface, you're saying, of course, in response to that, it's easy to say, if I see a woman in distress, I will defend or save her.
Right.
It's easy to say.
It's easy to say.
But without you knowing the backstory,
Right.
it puts you in a position, especially from as a spectator, stranger, or just someone not in the situation, that puts you in a position.
Especially, go ahead.
Like you said, that guy may have a weapon on him.
And you can't go to the highlights like a George Floyd or somebody getting beat by police. Of course, we should step in for those. I'm talking about your everyday neighborhood situation. Where you see, girl getting beat, like, wait, whoa. You could, my man, you could talk to him. But you ain't gonna should you put your life at risk?
That's it.
And it is not about black women. It's your life.
And I think it's about the time we live in, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine if that was, 40 years ago, right? You know what I'm saying? You could probably be like, yo, big man, hey, bro, like, cool out, cuz, like, you know what I'm saying? And you walk more and talk them down. Now,
you might get shot.
It's a different day now.
Even if your intentions or your approach is like, bruh,
you know what I'm
hey
saying?
man, come here, let me holler at you.
Like the most I see myself doing. Like if I saw it, it would bother me. Real talk. If I saw,
of course, and
I wouldn't say I would go and just start beating up on the dude, but I would at least be like, yo, from a distance, yo, bro, like everything good, so I can bring his attention off of her. You know what I'm saying? So to give her a chance to either run or do something, or at least stop from the beating. You feel what I'm saying? Something. Just to deter us. Like everything good, man. Y'all straight. Like what I mean, boom, boom. Y'all need anything? And that'd be probably the end of what I got. Because like you said, I don't know what he got. Like I don't know if he got a gun.
And that can go so bad.
I don't know.
And you gotta go home.
And then you gotta go. That can go so bad. So what if you break
that up? And then after that, I'm gonna call 911. Be like, yo, this
my cousin.
But what if you break that up? What if you go in the hey, chill out, man? No, that's a female. Don't touch her. Chill out. Boom. Y'all put hands on each other. Boom, boom, boom. You go back to the house. What are you telling your wife? Oh no, I seen this guy jumping on a female. I jumped in on it. Now, we got into a tussle, whatever. Depending on the type of wife you got, that can be, Oh, so you don't know the female? You don't know the female. Who know, whatever situation you in. So it's not. Listen, you just never know what her mind may go. Even if you not say it.
Let's go super extreme. Let's go super extreme. You jumping.
You know that chick?
You fighting over a chick you don't know.
So y'all was
so you was just walking down the street.
Like, no, man, ain't like that. No, he would just that.
That's your hobby.
Exactly.
Let's go super extreme. You jump in, right? Then it becomes life or death. You kill him. You go to jail. That female is free. You don't even know her. And I think the preemptive thing is what I don't know if I said this before. when I talked about the George Floyd situation and how the women said they ran outside and protest, and they went outside unprotected to me. That is the same situation when we talk about, I feel, even though it's not a reality, all women should have men around them to engage with other men for them.
Engage with them.
Because I had a woman tell me,
But you got,
but listen, I had a woman tell me, if I run up and smack a dude, my brother should have my back. You right. But I think you out of order for going up and smacking a dude because seriously, you're not equipped to deal with that.
Yeah, under normal circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, just,
I mean, some women out there can beat a man up.
Of course,
some.
yeah, we know.
Yeah, I know a few.
Yeah,
but but in a rare situation, you're gonna need backup in that situation, right?
Yeah.
But you're not thinking about who you're putting in that situation. Anecdotally, growing up in my hood, girls invite other dudes to their neighborhoods, and she knows that guys that are very competitive or violent or outside, and you got to walk through that. They ain't gonna do nothing. Nah, shorty, you bugging. This is man business.
Especially if they digging you.
Yeah,
They're gonna say something.
This is man business.
Yeah.
And we got to understand what's man business and what's women business. And we got to respect it and be okay with it when it's going down. And that's the problem. When we see these domestic violence situations, it's sad. I say this on record. It's sad that they got to fill out 4 to 5 police reports before it's taken seriously.
That's crazy.
Because back in the day, if that happened, like you said, the neighborhood be like, yo, this ain't right, bro. You ain't handling this right. Either we gonna beat you in the middle of the street, make an example of you, or we're gonna sit you down and have this conversation. It ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be easy. But nowadays, today, just like Dave Chappelle, well, he becomes a victim blamer. Well, what she did, what should he do? What did she do? Or what did he do to deserve that? Like they like to bring up the guy. And this is the thing. I'm talking to females and I'm hearing this. They feel sorry about men on child support, but I don't think they get it. Because men work the land. And when they work in the land to have nothing, it's hard for them. Like the guy on Facebook who said he killed his girlfriend and his ex-wife because his girlfriend threatened him and said she's gonna do the same thing that his other baby mama do to him. Try to take him to court and make sure he has no money.
There's a guy did he film it? He was talking about it. Like I'm finna do this.
I just murdered these 2 women. They backed him in a corner financially and took everything from him. I'm not condoning that. No. But you see where it hits at that's where it hits at. And that's the respect we gotta have for it. For the man, right? And then we gotta have respect for the women. When women speak, we really need to hear them and listen to them. 1 out of 4 of them will get molested. We gotta hear that. And we gotta find that dude and root him out.
That's right.
We gotta be there for them. But at the same time, it's so much stuff to take care of that was systematically planted in us. We got to respect the people that's taking it down one at a time and not negate the other side when the other side is not doing what you're doing. Because everybody's doing something. We sitting here right now having this conversation. This is doing something. Whether you feel it's valuable or not for what you're doing is a different love language.
Right. That's sure.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Well, closing remarks, man. If you got anything you want to say, let's do it.
Good, bro.
I mean, I really don't have much. Men listen to women, listen to women. Women listen to men. Really listen. Not only just hear,
I disagree with you.
Whatever. Not only hear, just listen, plan, and then execute. Listen,
I disagree with
execute.
Mike. I say, man, listen to women, but watch their actions.
Listen to women, watch their actions.
He said, and down, class.
I'm just
you finished.
I got you.
I think that goes both ways. I think that
it does.
When I guess the topic of men and women, man, we different, and when we understand our differences, then we can better cohabitate.
I disagree with you. I'm just
sure, man, bring it on. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we built differently. We're wired differently. And like I said, when we start to understand the difference between each other, then we can again start to cohabitate with one another, man. Like women, they have their role and their power in our society, and men have the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And for us to grow and to build one another, especially as Black people, man, we got to respect one another, understand each other's strengths, and empower one another to act in those strengths. You know what I'm saying? And once that happens, man, then you'll start to chip away at the foolishness, man. Yeah. And you'll start to get into the ones that have been caught up in all of the distractions that have been already given to us to break us apart. There's so many distractions that have been put out there. You feel what I'm saying? Think about rap. How rap used to be, hip hop, how it used to be. It was never where it is now. Yeah. It was always conscious about the things we were going through as Black people. You know what I'm saying? In efforts to shed light on the racism, or, you know what I'm saying, the injustice that was happening to us. You know what I'm saying? Which in turn united us to be more proactive in, building ourselves as Black people. And then that's when, other elements came into effect.
Money came
in, and start, and you start to move in a different direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that, my brothers. Quick hit question before I get my closing remarks. What does a man want as a gift from a wife in any holiday?
Are you trying? Your birthday coming up?
No, it's just a thing that we talk about.
What you mean by gift? Monetary, or you
Valentine's Day, birthday, Christmas?
Yeah, because I do hear a lot of women say, "I don't know what to get my man. I don't know what to."
You talking about like tangible, or you talking about like
in general? What is a good gift?
Holiday, birthday comes up. A woman says, "Hey, I don't know what to get my man." What can we say to that woman?
My experience, and this is just anecdotal, I don't tell my wife anything to get me. I think she evaluates me and buys me something along my purpose that I'm trying to get, or that I'm working towards to add to whatever.
Wholeheartedly disagree.
No, that's what she does for me.
Oh, okay.
I know you know, man.
You're right. You guys antagonize me.
I know. One thing, my wife don't ask me. My wife don't ask.
She don't ask me
what I want.
She don't ask me what I want. She just shows up with something.
No,
I will not lie. She used to buy me clothes, and I'm like, "Yo, stop."
Yeah,
because you picking out clothes. You're gonna have me. I think you making me dress bad so I can look bad in the streets.
So yeah, right. So nobody will look at me.
Stop that. I'll be like, "You're not doing this. I'm not wearing this shirt, so you might as well sleep in it tonight."
No, I retract my statement, man. I retract my statement. She has asked me, what I want for like big holidays before, but I never tell, because I never want anything. I never be like, man, I want this. Like,
why do you think?
Because what do you mean?
Why do you think you don't want anything?
Because I feel like I have everything I need, man. I got my.
And that's the problem. Let me tell you why. I believe women are incubators. They take whatever we give them and multiply. They see the multiplicity in what you don't need.
I'm the opposite from y'all. I tell my wife exactly what I want. Because I don't want nobody doing that to me.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of
what you want is it in reach?
Sometimes. Sometimes. Because a lot of the small stuff I
want myself. A third wife.
When it comes to things. When it comes to things. Stuff. Like, when it comes to things, a lot of small stuff I get myself.
I'm telling my wife, I want a fedora hat. I want a fedora hat. I'm like, I'm not expecting her to get it.
Yeah.
I went and bought to myself. Like I can get what I want myself.
Right.
So when you ask me what do I want, you really ask me what do I want you to get me.
Exactly.
And I don't,
because just like when we get our kids gifts, just like when we get our kids gifts,
it's not pride, because
I'm just saying
it's not necessarily pride. It's factual, because I don't literally need anything.
Yeah.
I don't like to this.
Are you saying she gave you everything you wanted?
Everything
already with her presence.
Everything that it's stuff that I didn't. It's something that it was things I wouldn't even thinking about. She got me.
They're incubators.
That's what I'm saying. Right. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna enhance whatever you're doing.
So it's like whatever she's going to get me is pretty much going to be like, wow, this is something new that I had, and thank you for it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You also got to think about too, when you're an upstanding guy,
soap inside the soap dispensers.
When you are an upstanding husband, your wife wants to reciprocate that. Your wife wants to give you a gift, even though it may not be something you don't need. She still wants to give you something, and for you to show some type of appreciation. Case in point, we went to Greece.
Sun on them.
I had the money.
Go ahead.
I was straight. But my wife said, "Hey, Father's Day coming up. Can I do something for you?" at first I was like, no, I'm good, I got it. No, I'm good. You know, the normal man. No, I'm good, I got it. And I thought about it.
Is that
Wait,
pride? Is that ego?
That's it. That's
No.
what it was. And it
I asked him
also
the same
wasn't right
question,
to
it
her.
makes
And
Disclosure,
it wasn't
man.
right to her because now if I say I know she wants to do it, and I'm saying no, I'm good. It's kind of like I don't need you. I don't know. I'm good. I can do it all by myself. By me allowing her to make herself feel like she's bringing something to the table or showing me appreciation.
Mhm.
A lot of times, ego can keep people from being able to be shown appreciation. No, I'm good. I'm got it. Hey, John, you need some help with that? No, I'm good, man. No, I'm good. Dang, you
Yeah,
don't
no
never
doubt.
need my help.
No,
I see you
no
carrying.
doubt. That's
I see
true.
you carrying the
I think we
refrigerator.
had
You don't
this-
need my help.
I think I had
Come
this
on, man.
conversation with you
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Like,
It's-
boy, you
it's-
need some. No, I'm good. I'm like, yo, girl, stop playing.
Yeah, come on, man. No, let me help you. I like
Yeah. That's true.
you know,
And it
so-
happens a lot in our community.
Exactly. So, and that's kind of the same thing with the wife too. Yeah, for the most part, we're good.
Yeah.
And then some of us, with me, I have expensive hobbies. So I know she's not going to buy this $6,000 camera.
Right,
You know,
right. I feel it.
that's kind of not feasible to ask her for.
So,
True.
is it too hard to say that Valentine's Day is a two-way street? Is it?
No,
Because-
you know what was crazy?
Most men,
Right.
most men get promised something they had last week or the day before.
But if it's good, I keep taking it, brother. If it's good, I take it all day long.
Yeah,
You
Hey,
talking
yo,
about?
listen, is that simplicity of who we are, or do we need more for Valentine's Day?
So other than the
Yeah,
other,
yeah, other than
Other,
Yo,
other
I mean,
than the cookie.
real talk, other than cook, right? Like, okay, so
Tell the
I
truth.
thought- no,
Shame
no.
the devil.
Oh yeah, man. Bruh, if it ain't Valentine's Day, I'm always looking for a cookie, right? So
There you go.
that's not even Valentine's Day is just another day
There
when
you
it comes
go.
to that to
Yeah.
me and my crib. But the thing is, it's I was thinking you were moving along. It's like, as men, is it our responsibility for Valentine's Day? That's what I thought you were getting at.
No,
when I
if
heard
we
you.
really
Okay.
know the real true history of Valentine's Day,
Right.
then we won't be talking about that.
Right,
But let's
right. Yeah.
let's stay into the spirit of what we've been systematically planted.
Yeah.
Is it a two-way street?
So
when
should
it comes to what?
should both like do for it? It should be a
Yeah,
responsibility.
we spoil.
Oh, okay.
We
All right,
mostly
yeah.
spoil.
So
Are
do
we
we-
getting spoiled too?
So, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I get spoiled.
I don't need to be. I would say no.
Two different perspectives. I
Yeah,
like it.
I-
I
yeah,
like it.
I would say no. I'm not
the-
saying that he needs to be,
like
but
two, like three, like
Yeah.
Okay, so when we
I
first-
feel like me being married so long, I'm above it. It's another day.
right. So essentially, it is like that's what me
There
and
we
my wife
go,
was
yeah.
literally saying
yeah,
that.
in that sense,
Like
yeah,
4
it's
months
like-
ago, we was just like, what are we gonna do for
Okay.
Valentine's Day? I have no idea.
whatever.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah,
I literally put plans together like
Netflix?
3-4 days ago.
there you
what
go.
we do
So-
yesterday.
But the thing is, like,
Same thing
like
we do
about-
every day. Try to
about
take
two
over the
weeks-
world.
There you
Right,
go.
you stupid. Pinky in the brain. But like I think two years ago, 3 years ago, we were like trying to figure out like, okay, Valentine's Day, we do Valentine's Day, and I always like show out, you know what I'm saying, because that's what I was raised to do. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
raised
This
as
is what
guys.
it goes
This
back
is
to
what
what I
we
was saying
do.
before.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, we
provide and-
wine and dine our ladies.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm saying? And then at the end of the night, we are rewarded with the cookie.
There you go.
Okay,
Something
that's
you
it.
had yesterday.
Right, something you, right. You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe an
Right.
hour before Valentine's
Right,
Day.
exactly. So at the end of the day, we decided, okay, when last year came up, we were coming towards Valentine's Day, and I'm like, all right, I'm trying to get myself together, what I'm gonna do for her. And she surprised me. It was like, how about this? How about I take care of Valentine's Day this time? Cool. And I was like, word. So I don't have to do nothing. Nah, I'm gonna do everything for Valentine's Day. And it flipped the script.
That's
It
what I was
totally-
talking about upgrading though.
There
That
you go.
one moment
Yeah.
of reprieve
Mhm.
changed the whole game to refuel you to jump out there. I think all women should not give their men nothing the month of February to the 14th.
Well, make us appreciate it
No,
more.
sir.
Make us appreciate it more.
Do not listen to that.
Black History Month
Do not
should
listen
be,
to that.
it should be no sex, only on the 14th.
Okay.
sir.
All right.
Only on
I
the
hope-
14th.
Good luck with that.
Please, women, don't take his advice, man.
Don't listen to
Mess
me.
your relationship up. No, I'm like,
In my closing remarks, I'd like to say this. I want to say thank you to the brothers on this panel, Mike and Jers. Thank you for being here today. We had a good time. We had a little wine. We had a little recline. And I want to say that the state of the union of the Black woman and the Black man is better than what the news and media is telling us. I think we have a large narrative of disparity within and dysfunction within our relationships, but we have to really go back, not blame, but evaluate our teachers and our nurturers who taught us these things, whether it was our fathers, mothers, grandmothers, grandparents, whatever. And then we have to disseminate what values we keep in today's fashion and what we keep going. What cultures are we going to destroy and what cultures we're going to rebuild and keep with us? what type of things we were fed that we now know are detrimental and just imagination versus what is good for us. How we're going to lobby our money together instead of going out and just showing anger and frustration. Money and affecting the bottom line is the number one thing of how we get change anywhere in the world, because the people that make money off your dysfunction want to keep you that way.
That's right.
This is SOULutions for Men. I'm Sheem One, Michael Fisher, Jers. Thank you for being here today. Please do not forget to subscribe, check out the show, follow us on social media at Sheem One on all platforms. If you guys have anything you want to say on your platforms, anything, don't forget my man Jers is an author. Tell them about your 2 books real quick before we get out of here.
Really quickly, I'm the author of Mason Learns Lessons as well as Mason Learns New Friends. 2 children's books that are based upon real life. My son Mason is depicting Black family, so it's inspiring, man. So I encourage all. The books can be found on Amazon.com as well as on Amazon.ae.
Mike.
Gotcha. I'm Michael Fisher, full-time husband, but also financial consultant, as far as credit repair, buying a vehicle, just hit me up. Michael Fisher on Facebook. We can discuss things there and get you that financial freedom that you need.
Absolutely. Listen, I want to say thank you for checking it out today. Episode 50 is in the books. I hope you liked this conversation. I hope it invoked thought. I hope you got mad at me and everybody else with the comments we said, but I also hope you listen and understand this is a man's perspective. SOULutions for Men. Peace and blessings.
All right.
She gave me the green light. Now it's time to take flight. Let's go.
Cause I'm out the ordinary.